Today, let's talk about tissue papers. Now, it is something that all of us have grown accustomed to getting used. Maybe, if I look back in my childhood, uh, 10 or 15 years back, I think the tissue papers had not made it such a big name for itself, and it not had become such a regular use case for a lot of people. We were still using kerchiefs, we were using cloths, we were using our own hands basically to just let the overall natural resources take us in. But what's with the tissue paper and why is it such a glorious waste? It's the idea tissue paper needs to be made you know, from very or the first type of wood. So it's virgin wood. So tissue papers, the softer ones need to be made with wood. So the basically wood comes from trees or from trees that have to be grown. So they are specifically grown in the same species in a uh, big singular place wherein there's hardly any biodiversity. So there's a lot of resources that are required for it to grow. That means the tree or the sapling to grow into a plant, from then to a tree, then to be cut and then to be used. So it is grown, it is cut, and then it is threshed, then it is basically put into mills where the very soft paper comes out, and it comes out in a different color. It has to be made a little more whiter, it has to be bleached, and then there are patterns. There are many other things that get into making the tissue paper in the first place. So it is causing deforestation. It is causing a lot of soil erosion because a single tree has to be grown in the same area. The amount of pesticides, the amount of the entire pesticides, the overall structure that is used, or the external chemicals that are used to make this grow faster, grow it at a way where it can be um, almost continuously harvested is huge. And after some point, the soil is in no place to handle more and more production. So they move to different areas. So it is essentially deforestation in many ways. So it's not one piece of land, it is multiple pieces of land that is affecting because of this. So there are, I think, if my statistics are right, around 87 million trees get basically cut every year for us to get ultra soft tissue papers. And I think as Indians, it's a tradition that we've taken over from the West, our fascination to ape the West. Now, everywhere you go, even when you go to weddings, when you go to functions, when you go to receptions, when you go everywhere, there are places where there are single-use tissues that are used. So when you say maybe yeah, if you're thinking in your head it is single use, or you can you can use it multiple times anyway, it is dry waste. So it is not dry waste, it cannot be recycled. There are a lot of places wherein your maybe if you sneeze your nose, or basically if you wash your mouth, or wash your bum, whatever, it is having other fluids or other organic material that will continue to decompose, and it will basically not be dry waste. It is somewhere in a decomposition waste itself. So it is a lot of resources that's gone into making it single use. The deforestation is reducing our tree cover, it is destroying our habitats, it is destroying biodiversity, it is destroying the water retention capacity in the soil. It is adding a lot of things versus you could use a kerchief or a cloth pad. So a cloth that can be basically help you to clean your surfaces, the kerchief to basically wipe your face, such that even if you wash it with water again, it can be dried and used back again. So that's multiple use. Anything that is single use is glorious waste because it is adding. There are lots of processes that are there. Even for you to get the whiteness, you need to bleach it. There's water that needs to be basically used to clean it. Then there is again, like I said, plant growth, and the tree growth. This is a huge carbon potential. So it's a huge carbon emission place. So there are a lot of processes that are involved, a lot of chemicals that are involved. Those chemicals have to be produced, and then there's offsetting that cannot happen because you're creating more and more emissions with basically cutting off trees. So that reduction, that natural cycle of absorption is getting cut off. So these are some of the problems that are there with tissue papers. And once you basically wash yourself, or just throw it off, it's so easy. And that's the problem, because the ease at which the tissue paper has taken our life, and the amount of waste that is generating is huge. So once you've wiped your face, it's no longer dry waste. It cannot be no longer given off to a recycling possibility. Has to go to a landfill. It has to get decomposed. It is single use. So every time, maybe if you wash your face 10 times, you need 10 tissue papers to basically then dry yourself. But one kerchief works the entire 10 times. So in terms of that simple mathematics itself, it is sustainable to use a handkerchief. And for all those amazing people who've been accustomed to washing your bum with the tissue paper, it just isn't sustainable. Try and use water. From an Indian point of view, I will tell you, I've been using water for the 30 years, and my ancestors have been doing it for a very, very long time. It doesn't help, uh, that you're using tissue papers. And the water absolutely helps, because it again is causing lesser emissions in the overall perspective, because water can be harvested back through the sewage network, and then basically the treatment, and it comes back to us. So it is not the best options to use tissue paper. So again, what are the things that we can basically get from using a kerchief with regards to normal usage? Is that it is in multiple use, it is easy to carry, and also it is generating local employment opportunities in terms of the entire cloth industry, and you don't have to wait for issues. So I am hoping that this video is an eye opener for you in terms of how your overall tissue papers are adding to the waste management problem, and also into how it is not sustainable, and how it is very, very simple to just use a handkerchief and absolutely work your way through all the chores that happen. Or you could use cloths to basically wipe your surfaces. You could use a handkerchief to wipe your face wherever you go outside. And whenever you wash your hands, you could use your kerchief. No need for you to use tissue paper. I think a lot of corporates are big culprits here. I've been in an organization where every day close to around 27,000 people used to have uh, their food with every and 3 times a day. There was breakfast, there was lunch, and there was snacks. And every time there was a possibility of reducing, or every time there were tissue papers, two or three that were given, even if not asked for, along with the plate. So a lot of times people just wash their hands, just threw it off to the dustbin, which is a humongous waste. Could be completely reduced. You also save money, because tissue paper costs money to buy, cost the environment to create. So with this, I am leaving you with a sustainability tip. Always use multiple use things. Single use and disposables are not sustainable. Thank you.